Hey Troopers, good morning, it's Rob Moffett. A few months ago I made this little toy boat for my nephews to take out in little ponds. It made it from a shampoo bottle. It'll actually sail into the wind, and if you tie a little string to the front, you can have fun with it, take it out with a fishing rod, and you can bring it back. It'll sail all around. But a few people were asking me about sailboats and how they sail, and I looked at the videos on YouTube, and there's a lot of them on there. But almost none of them really go over why a sailboat sails without using a lot of nautical terminology and make it kind of complicated. I thought it'd be real simple if I could just explain the physical reasons why a sailboat will sail into the wind and the other way it sails without using a lot of terminology. Make it as simple as I could. So we're going to try this like in 2 minutes, see if I can explain to you why a sailboat will sail, the physical reasons behind it. So imagine this fan that's down here is the wind, and this is the wind direction. And if you had a milk carton, and the milk carton was floating in the water, if the wind hit it, that milk carton would just travel down. The reason that happens is when the wind hits it, it's a law of physics. I think it's Newton's third law. Action equals reaction. You have a force hitting the milk carton, and it moves downwind. Well, a sailboat, if the sail is out to one side, it will sail downwind just as well as the milk carton. But the problem is, a sailboat will also sail across the wind. It not only sails downwind, which we learned is action equal reaction, but it'll sail across wind. Well, a milk carton is never going to do that. Well, why is that? If you look at the bottom of the sailboat, there's a little thing that sticks down. We won't call it its real name because we don't want to confuse everybody. We'll start all this nautical terminology, but you notice there's things down the bottom of the sailboat that the milk carton doesn't have. If the sail is held into near the center of the boat, it can sail across the wind. So why is that? Well, this is the second reason a sailboat sails. If you ever take a pumpkin seed or a watermelon seed and you squeeze it between your fingers, you notice when you squeeze it, it'll squirt out. What is happening is you have a force on one side of the seed and a force on the other, and when you squeeze it, it shoots it out. That's called parallelogram of forces. That's the second reason the sailboat will sail. That's what's happening here. On the bottom, you have this part sticking down, so when the wind hits the sailboat, it pushes it to the side, but the keel, I said I wasn't going to use a term, but there I just did. This thing that sticks down to the bottom, it presses against the water. So just like your finger and your thumb, the water is being pressed on one side and the wind is being pushed on the other. So you're squeezing it and it's pushing it forward. That's why the milk carton can never sail across the wind, but a sailboat can sail across the wind. Just remember the pumpkin seed or the watermelon seed. That's the second reason the sailboat sails. So now you know two reasons. One is action equal reaction, the wind hitting it from behind and just making it go downwind. The second is going across the wind. Remember the pumpkin seed or watermelon seed. That's what's happening, parallelogram of forces. The third reason a sailboat sails, it can go into the wind. Milk carton can't do that at all. Well, a sailboat can go into like a 45-degree angle on this way or that way. And what happens there is pretty simple. In order for me to explain why a sailboat will go into the wind, let me show you this model airplane. Notice the wings on the airplane. If you remove the wings, if this airplane has an engine, it will go very fast down the runway, but it's never going to leave the ground. So what makes an airplane fly isn't the engine or the propellers. That just gives it speed. What gives it the ability to lift hundreds of people into the air are these little tiny wings. And what gives the wings power to lift up into the air is there's a foil. It's curved on one side and flat on the other, and when the wind moves across the top, it has to go faster than the bottom. And there's less force on the top than there is on the bottom, so the wing lifts, which allows you to lift up hundreds of people and thousands of pounds of aircraft into the air. Well, that's what's happening with the sailboat. Think of the sailboat mast and sail as a wing. When the wind is coming over strong on one side, or I should say if it's coming over fast on one side and slow on the other, you're changing the force direction of the wind, and you're also creating less air pressure on the side that has to go faster, which causes it to lift. Also, there's a reaction with the keel too, because it keeps the boat from going from one side. The only way it can go is forward. So Now you know three things. One is sailboat can go downwind because of action equal reaction, law of physics. The second reason is a sailboat can go across the wind. That's parallelogram of forces. Just remember the pumpkin seed or watermelon seed. I actually bought a watermelon so I could show you and squeeze a seed, but it was a seedless watermelon. So I don't have one today. The third thing is sailing into the wind. You remember how the wing of the airplane works. That's the same thing that's happening with the sail. You have a different speed and different forces on the sail, and it's causing it to have less pressure on one side, so it pulls it off into the wind. So there you know, there's the three reasons why a sailboat sails. And that's all there is. You can go into the wind, across the wind, and downwind. And so that's the way a sailboat sails without hardly any nautical terminology. And now you know how a sailboat sails. Now, why can a sailboat only go at a 45-degree angle? Because if it goes less than a 45-degree angle, it'll start to stall, just like an airplane wing. So I hope you enjoyed this little video, and it was a good explanation for you guys. If you like this video, I put on new stuff every week. And also check out the little video I made on how to make this. This is a cool little model. It only took about an hour, and it was just made from an empty shampoo bottle. All right, guys, take care. See you out there.